I know something has changed in you. Not all at once. Not dramatically. But somewhere along the way, during all this waiting, something broke. Something quiet. Something internal. Something you might not have even noticed happening until it was already done. You used to believe that things would work out. Not in some naive, everything will be perfect way. But you had this baseline trust that if you kept trying, if you kept showing up, if you kept doing what you were supposed to do, eventually things would move forward. Eventually, your efforts would lead somewhere. Eventually, the waiting would end and you'd be able to look back and say, that was hard, but I got through it. But that belief is gone now. Or if it's not completely gone, it's so damaged that you can't access it anymore. You can't find that place in yourself that used to trust the process, trust the timing, trust that this would eventually make sense. Now when you think about the future, you don't see possibility. You see more waiting. More of the same. More days of nothing changing. And the belief that it will ever be different, that belief that used to sustain you, it's just not there anymore. And that loss, that quiet breaking of your fundamental trust in how life works, that's different from being tired. That's different from being worn down. That's something deeper. Something that changes how you relate to everything. Because when you lose the belief that things will eventually work out, you lose your motivation to keep trying. Why try if trying doesn't lead anywhere? Why hope if hope just sets you up for more disappointment? Why keep showing up if showing up doesn't actually change anything? You go through the motions now. You do what needs doing. But there's no conviction behind it anymore. No real belief that any of it matters. You've stopped expecting anything to come from your efforts. You've stopped looking for signs that things are shifting. You've stopped believing that this waiting has an end. And maybe you haven't admitted that to yourself yet. Maybe you're still pretending that you have hope, that you still believe, that you're just being patient. But deep down, in the place that used to hold trust, there's just emptiness now. Just the quiet knowledge that you don't actually believe this is going anywhere. That's what breaks during prolonged waiting. Not your ability to function. Not your capacity to survive. But your fundamental trust that survival leads somewhere. Your belief that enduring hard things eventually results in getting through them to the other side. You're still enduring. But you've stopped believing there's another side. You've stopped trusting that this endurance is temporary. You've stopped having faith that any of this will eventually make sense or matter or lead to anything different than what you're experiencing right now. And that breaking, that loss of trust, it doesn't happen all at once. It happens so gradually you don't notice it. It happens through 1,000 small disappointments. 1,000 mornings of waking up to the same situation. 1,000 times telling yourself, just a little longer, and then having to say it again the next day and the next day and the next day. Each one of those moments chips away at your trust. Each one erodes your belief a little more. Until one day you realize you don't believe anymore. You don't trust anymore. You don't have hope anymore. Not real hope. Not the kind that actually feels like something. You might still use the words. You might still say, I'm hopeful, or I believe it will work out, when people ask. But you don't feel it. The words are empty. Automatic. Something you say because that's what you're supposed to say, not because there's any truth behind them. The truth is that something in you has broken. And you're functioning around that brokenness, compensating for it, pretending it's not there. But it is there. You can feel it. The absence of trust. The emptiness where belief used to be. The quiet knowledge that you don't actually think this is going anywhere. And that knowledge is devastating in a way that physical exhaustion isn't. Because you can push through exhaustion. You can rest and recover from being worn down. But how do you recover from losing the fundamental belief that's sustaining you through the hardship? You can't just decide to believe again. You can't force trust to return. You can't manufacture hope out of nothing when nothing in your experience suggests hope is warranted. So you're left functioning without the thing that makes functioning bearable. You're left going through the motions without the belief that the motions are leading anywhere. You're left waiting without any real conviction that the waiting will ever end. And nobody sees this. Nobody knows this has broken in you. Because you're still showing up. Still doing what needs doing. Still appearing, from the outside, like someone who's handling the waiting with patience and resilience. But inside, you're hollow. Inside, where trust used to be, there's just nothing. Just the quiet awareness that you don't believe in any of this anymore. That you're going through the motions because you don't know what else to do, not because you have any faith that the motions matter. And here's what makes this breaking so cruel. You can't talk about it. Because saying, "I don't believe anymore," sounds like giving up. It sounds like you're being negative or pessimistic or not trying hard enough to stay positive. But it's not about choosing negativity. It's about no longer being able to access the belief that used to come naturally. It's about something essential being worn away by the prolonged waiting, by the chronic disappointment, by the endless repetition of hoping and being let down. You didn't choose to lose your trust. You didn't decide to stop believing. It just happened. Slowly. Quietly. While you were busy trying to survive the waiting. And now you're here. On the other side of that breaking. Functioning without trust. Going through the motions without belief. Waiting without hope that the waiting will end. And I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to restore something that broke so gradually and so deeply. I don't know how to give you back the trust that prolonged waiting took from you. What I do know is this: the breaking is real. The loss of trust is real. The absence of belief is real. And pretending it's not there, pretending you still have hope when you don't, that just adds another layer of suffering to what you're already experiencing. So maybe the first step is just acknowledging it. Not trying to fix it. Not trying to force belief to return. Just acknowledging that something broke. That you've lost the trust you used to have. That you're functioning in a state of not believing, and that's different from how you used to function. Because when you acknowledge the breaking, you stop spending energy pretending it didn't happen. You stop trying to manufacture hope you don't feel. You stop forcing yourself to believe things you don't actually believe. And that acknowledgement, that honesty about the state you're actually in, it doesn't make the breaking go away. But it stops you from fighting against reality. It stops you from adding the exhaustion of pretending to the exhaustion of the waiting itself. You don't believe anymore. That's the truth. That's where you are. And operating from that truth, as painful as it is more sustainable than operating from the pretense of belief you don't actually have. So what does that look like? What does it mean to function without trust, without belief, without hope that any of this is leading anywhere? It means you stop trying to see the purpose. You stop trying to find the meaning. You stop trying to convince yourself that this is all happening for a reason or that it will make sense eventually. You just exist in it. Without the story that it's leading somewhere. Without the narrative that it's temporary. Without the belief that enduring it will eventually pay off. You're just here. In the waiting. Without knowing when or if it will end. Without believing that it will end well. Without trusting that any of this matters. And that's bleak. That's brutally, devastatingly bleak. And I won't pretend it's not. But it's also honest. And there's a strange kind of relief in honesty, even when the truth is bleak. Because at least you're not carrying the additional weight of pretending anymore. At least you're not forcing yourself to believe things you don't believe. At least you're existing in reality instead of in the story of how you wish reality was. The breaking is real. The loss of trust is real. And you can either acknowledge it and function from that truth, or you can keep pretending and exhaust yourself even more trying to maintain beliefs you don't actually hold. Neither option is good. Neither option fixes the breaking. But one is more sustainable than the other. So acknowledge it. You don't believe anymore. You don't trust that this is leading anywhere. You don't have hope that the waiting will end or that it will end well. That's where you are. That's what the prolonged waiting has done. That's the quiet breaking that happened while you were busy trying to survive. And it's okay to be there. Not okay in the sense that it feels good or that it's what you wanted. But okay in the sense that it's real. It's honest. It's the truth of your experience. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to force belief to return. You don't have to manufacture hope you don't feel. You can just be here. In the broken place. Without trust. Without belief. Without hope. And still breathing. Still existing. Still making it through each day even though you don't believe the days are leading anywhere. That's all that's required of you. Not belief. Not hope. Not trust. Just breath. Just existence. Just one more day of being here even though you don't know why. The breaking doesn't disqualify you. It doesn't mean you're doing this wrong. It doesn't mean you've failed at waiting. It just means you've been waiting too long. And something essential wore away in the process. And now you're in the aftermath of that wearing away, functioning without the thing that used to make functioning feel purposeful. So be in the aftermath. Without trying to rush past it. Without trying to pretend you're not there. Without trying to force yourself back to a state of believing that you can't actually access anymore. Just be here. Broken. Without trust. Without hope. Without belief that any of this matters or leads anywhere. And breathe. And exist. And make it through another day. Not because you believe it matters. But because you're still here and breathing and existing is what you do while you're here. That's all. That's enough. That's all that's left when the belief breaks. Just breath. Just existence. Just being here even when you don't know why. And that's bleak. And it's honest. And maybe honest bleakness is more sustainable than pretend hope. So be here. In the quiet breaking. In the absence of trust. In the emptiness where belief used to be. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to believe again. You don't have to hope. You just have to be here. However broken. However empty. However without trust. That's the only requirement. Just existence. Just breath. Just here. Even broken. Especially broken. Because making it through while broken is all there is right now. So make it through. Without belief. Without hope. Without trust that it's leading anywhere. Just make it through. Because you're here. And while you're here, you breathe. That's all. That's everything. That's enough. Broken, but breathing. Empty, but here. Without trust, but still existing. That's the truth. That's where you are. And that's okay. Not good. Just okay. Just real. Just honest. And honesty, even bleak honesty, is something you can stand on when everything else has broken. So stand on it. On the honest acknowledgement of the breaking. On the truth that you don't believe anymore. And breathe. And exist. And be here. That's all there is. That's all that's left. And somehow, it's enough. To just be here. Broken. Without hope. Still breathing. That's the only truth that matters now. And it's enough. It has to be. Because it's all there is.